Yo, what's happening, people? And welcome back to the Tiki Taka podcast, where you're going to hear hot takes, unbiased opinions, and hopefully have a couple laughs along the way. And off the back of the bank holiday, hope you guys listening to this have all enjoyed it. If you're here watching this, you've seen by the title we're doing something different, but subscribe,
Yes,
like, comment, follow us on Spotify. We'll appreciate that all. And I know I said last week that the Premier League roundup would be back. And Liverpool fans were excited.
chomping at the bit.
But come on, guys, like, look at what went on this weekend. Do you really want to come here and see us talk about Arsenal beating Ipswich 4-0 or City beating Everton 2-0? And there were just a bunch of dry games. United lost at home to Wolves. I'd love to clown United for that, but like,
no one cares that United lost.
Exactly, because for United and Tottenham, we almost have to just hold off shitting on them
until the Europa League. Everything's in that basket,
right? It's the same thing guys are doing with Arsenal, and obviously the Champions League. So look, there's not really much to talk about. Liverpool 1 game away from the title. The race for top 4 is heating up, and even though Arsenal won 4-0, that's about it. That would be the end of the pod.
Yeah.
Even Arsenal winning 4-0, shout out Trossard, but
not much to say.
Yeah.
Ipswich are all but confirmed. To go down.
So Leicester obviously got relegated, but Jamie Vardy came out with a funny tweet today. He was like, "This is unacceptable. The bullshit that we've put on this season." Yeah. He probably came out.
Swear.
Yeah. Dropped it on Twitter earlier. But look, as you can see from the title, and if you're watching the video, you can see we have an NBA jersey on the pod today from a guy who has won a chip from the team he won the chip with down in Toronto. Thanks to him, thanks to Kawhi, thanks to Spicy P, thanks to Normal Power. I'll always remember you guys. But we talk about basketball, we give basketball MVPs and rookies, and with the playoffs just having started, I think all the game ones are now complete. Game 2 start tonight. We're gonna do our NBA playoff bracket prediction. So both conferences, who's gonna win, who's gonna go to the finals, and then we'll talk about the finals. I did think about this, and I decided that we're gonna have separate ones because I think trying to convince each other on certain teams, this pod could go on for 3 hours. So we'll talk about the games anyway, go through it, and let us know in the comments if you follow the NBA, who you guys think might win, and who you're looking forward to seeing. So without further ado, I think let's start in the East because there's more to talk about in the West.
That's
some good games.
That's the meat and drink.
Yeah, exactly. This is a starter. So the Cavs Heat. Game 1, obviously the Cavs took. Was a close game though.
I watched this game.
Yeah, same. It was a close game.
What I will say is, obviously, for those that don't know, Heat is sort of my team, and I say sort of. There's a massive asterisk because we're not really like, it's not like Arsenal, or it's not like football where it's like we're located in a certain area. We support teams in and around our area. For the NBA, I don't really have roots anywhere. I support the Lakers because LeBron is at the Lakers. But if I did have to choose,
it's like my United fans.
yeah. Croydon Reds.
Yeah.
But if I did have to choose a team to support, it would be the Heat. Yeah, I fucks with the Heat
because of Spo,
because of the history, Pat Riley, all of that stuff, Heat culture. Now, I will admit, as a Heat fan, Miami Heat don't deserve to be in this playoffs. They didn't do enough in the regular season. I think they actually are the worst record team to make it into the playoffs this year.
Did you see how Trae Young's now he has a problem with the playing?
Does he?
He's the most successful guy in the playing, but now
that he's
come out and said, I don't know, I think the playing's bullshit. After 82 games, that should be enough to judge who's worthy of the playoffs. Yeah. And obviously he's gone home and, like you say, the 10th seed. Miami.
Look, it's a record, isn't it, that the 10th seed's ever made it in. Trae Young shouldn't say anything. Just win your game. Just beat the 10th seed then. This is part of the...
And he had 2 opportunities now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Just don't lose 2 games.
Yeah.
And they beat Miami. So the Miami game was at home for the Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah.
So it's like even more zero excuses. I just think with Spo...
They were at home to Orlando as well.
Yeah. Because they must have been a higher seed than Orlando.
Yeah, I think they were the 7th seed.
I just think with Spo does a brilliant job. And this is all how this game went yesterday is all Spo can do. He can keep it semi-close within a 10-point gap throughout the game without Cleveland like pulling away like Boston and some other teams do.
Tyler Hero making shots.
And then it all comes down to what can Tyler Hero, Bam, Duncan Robinson, Davion Mitchell do? Andrew Wiggins in the like clutch minutes, the final 7-8 minutes. Because I feel like this game the other day, that's when that's when they took over. This Ty Jerome guy.
Yeah.
I don't know where he's come from. I don't
Jarrett
know.
Allen.
He's moving like Peyton Pritchard.
Yeah, we'll speak about what he did the game, man. Yeah, we'll get that.
But Heat will lose this. I think the Heat will get swept. But it will be one of these sweepings where it's like they lost every game by like 10 to 15. You know, like they were almost there. If they had maybe another 3-point shooter, if they had maybe another guy to get a bucket in the mid-range or something like that, or maybe Tyler Hero has to go off of like instead of 25, he's got to get 35.
Yeah.
You know, that's how I see it. If not, they're pretty much, and like the max the Heat can do is get one game.
I think he'll be a gentleman.
Yeah, the max. Yeah. I don't even know. Yesterday, I thought the game that the Heat had to get was game 1.
Yeah.
For it to be a gentleman sweep. Now the Cavs have got game 1.
I think in the 2 home games they have, I think they might take one.
One in Miami.
Yeah.
Someone has to do what I've just. Bam has to go for 30. Hero has to go for 35. Duncan Robinson will need to go for 20. Davion Mitchell will need to go for 20.
Which could happen.
100%. Spo's got the X's and O's.
But I think that'll be it. I think once the Heat get one, I think the Cavs will lock back in.
Yeah.
Go through.
And if the Heat get one, it's because that Cavs are 3 up, and they already know that.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I think it'll be a gentleman's sweep like that. Or they might even be 2 up. They go back to Miami. Miami take the first one, and then Cleveland just win the next 2. But for anyone that watches playoff basketball or is interested in playoff basketball, trust me, you want to tune into Cleveland because they have, in my opinion, the playoff basketball.
Don't say the. You have one of the playoff basketball guys.
In terms of when you watch playoff basketball and there's one guy who can just like I don't see other guys take every shot in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that's more a team thing, like system thing.
Yeah,
but
so when you're looking at an individual that's just
I hear it. It's good to done. You could even see it yesterday, and like it wasn't even his best shooting game.
Donovan Mitchell, by the way.
But like he does definitely take it upon himself to be like, I'm getting the next bucket. I'm getting the next bucket. I see
there's a mentality, and when I say the playoff guy, I don't mean like
yeah.
He's gonna, but in terms of like who I find most entertaining to watch in the playoffs, Donovan Mitchell's up there. Like we say, we both expect the Cavs to potentially sweep the Heat, but I'll still try and watch every game of this just to see Donovan Mitchell play.
No, he is that guy. And I was thinking this as he was getting going in this game of like, obviously the Heat just aren't really a match for Donovan Mitchell. But I was like, this is going to be so good watching the Cavs when they come up against a Knicks or a Pacers.
Well, the other game in the East, so if we both agree the Cavs will go through, they will play the winner of the Pacers against the Bucks. And this is a personal one for me. The Pacers, they're my guys.
That's his team.
The average Joe's no franchise player. Respect Tyrese Halliburton, but they will share the ball. They will play the right way. They will get their points. And I respect that. They will understand the game. Pacers obviously took game 1, but they're saying Dame could be back for game 2. Dame in game 1 was chirping at Tyrese saying some stuff.
You ain't gonna do nothing.
Yeah, I'll drop a diss track. Dame Dollar. So I think Dame. We've spoken about this off air. I think Dame coming back will. I mean, we said that Giannis could probably take him down.
I was hoping. Yeah.
And I still don't think that that's not possible.
Yeah.
But with Dame, I think it becomes very interesting.
The thing about the Bucks is, I really thought that Giannis was like primed to have maybe his like second best postseason after winning the chip, because he's just been going so hard. Yeah. However, I hadn't really taken into stock how bad the trades have been for the Milwaukee Bucks. Like, besides Giannis and Dame, who's obviously out with blood clots. Feels like the rest of the roster is just like a, ragtag bunch of guys. There's like no one I can really put my hat on and be like, this is a third option, like a legit third option. And not even like a good third option. You're going to get me, 20 and 5 or whatever it is, but like I can count on you to make some buckets.
10.
Yeah. I could count on you to make some buckets. Is,
they had that guy.
I know.
Third option, Chris Middleton. And the guy that they got in, Kuz.
Yeah.
He had an absolute stinker in game 1.
So now I'm looking at things like, can Giannis take this Pacers team down? Can Giannis by himself, literally by himself, no help? I don't think anybody has less help than Giannis in this playoffs. Yeah. Can he take down maybe the most team-oriented team in the playoffs? That's sort of the question right now.
Yeah.
It's can the most solo guy, the most solo guy, take on the most team unit, most comprehensive team unit? We all share the ball.
Can the biggest franchise player, so far clearly franchise player, take on the team with no franchise player.
And there's no demands on anybody. The way Giannis has demands to get like 30, 15 and whatever. There's no demands on anybody in the Pacers to get 30, whatever.
They'll have 7, 8, 9 guys get 10 to 15.
So now I'm looking at things differently. Now I'm like, Game 2 is massive because I think even Dame potentially will be back, but even if he is back, he'll probably be on some sort of like minutes restriction. But if they don't get Game 2, it's going to be a gentleman's sweep like Cavs Heat.
You think so?
They'll get Game 3, maybe.
They'll can't get Game 4, make it 2-2.
But I don't think it will be enough. Because by the time the Pacers have won 2 games and everybody's happy and sharing the ball, and like Haliburton, as much as I clown him, he will have this 30-point game. And that could be the same for Miles Turner. That could be the same for Obi Toppin. That could be the same for like... So the problem with the Bucks, I feel, is like if they don't get the next one, and the next one isn't Haliburton's 30-point game, or it isn't Obi Toppin's 30-point game, then those 2 games are coming next.
Those games are,
Nembhard's
25.
Exactly. And then by the time Indy are comfortable, and as I say, everyone's happy, we all get our touches, we've all had our points, everybody's had their game to shine.
We haven't spoken about the TJ McConnell game.
It's too late. It's still what can Giannis do? Like, if Giannis finds himself behind 2 games, it's just like he has to win 4 in a row. And maybe I think because Dame's getting better.
Even if they lose the first 2, I do think maybe back in Milwaukee they could win the next 2.
Yeah, it's not out of the question. I mean, Kuzma will need to stay. They just can't get 0 points from these guys. They just can't get 0 points from Kuzma and
0 rebounds.
Yeah.
Blocks.
Come on. But I like the Pacers. I think maybe 4-2
Pacers. Yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe 4-2 Pacers.
Like I said, I have an attachment to the Pacers, but I just have some sort of feeling. To be honest, the Bucks is so up in the air because I just don't know. Like you say, the minutes restriction with Dame. Like how playoff ready, how good is Dame?
Yeah.
Are they actually going to get like even like 7-8 points per game from Kuzma?
Yeah.
What is Brook Lopez? Whereas with the Pacers, I feel like I know what I'm going to get.
Yeah.
So for that reason, I'll go with the Pacers. But I think that's one of the most difficult series to predict, especially in the East.
It hinges on a lot of what ifs. It hinges on Dame's fitness.
And like we say, if Giannis goes for 40, 45 in Game 2,
there will be.
He might only need a certain amount.
No, there will be a monster Giannis game.
Yeah.
There will be a monster Giannis game. But before we move on, just quickly, there's a lot of talk about Giannis. There's been talk about Giannis leaving. Like, if it seems as if Bucks won't get through, this is like the best version of Giannis with the worst team he's ever had. He must be the most frustrated player right now. And I don't actually know the ins and outs of his contract stuff, but it seems as if either he will be a free agent soon or he'll have the ability to ask for a trade. I just wonder what Milwaukee will do if they don't show Giannis enough to keep him. And what happens then? You're just left with Dame and a rebuild.
And Dame, what?
That's
a stitch up for Dame.
Exactly. Well, exactly.
Dame left Portland to finally have some help. The guy who deserves help for what he's been through.
Interestingly enough, Miami Heat traded for Dame. They wanted to send Tyler Hero to Portland for Dame, and Portland were like, no, we don't want Tyler Hero. And now
Well, not for Dame.
And now, I think Giannis should go. And especially if they lose sort of 4-1, 4-2, I don't think this Bucks team can get much better. Even if they keep Dame, even if they keep Giannis, I don't know if they have enough pieces. You need to get like another 2 to 3 guys.
Yeah.
You know, and the West is so much better than the East, but the 3 teams or the 2 teams in the East are actually pretty good.
Yeah.
So you gotta like exponentially get better. But yeah.
So we'll both go paces on that one then. So next up, Knicks Pistons. Knicks took game 1.
Yeah.
Knicks are obviously the favorites in this. Pistons.
Cade didn't have the best game.
Yeah, Pistons are a young team. They tripled their wins from last season. So you've been telling me that the Pistons have been trash for God knows how long.
Yeah, Pistons have been terrible for so long. Since like the 90s or whatever it's been, early 2000s.
So how do you see this one going?
I think ultimately the Pistons are too new and too rookie to take on the Knicks. Like, the Pistons are decent, don't get me wrong, as you said, tripled their wins, but they just don't have enough playoff experience, sort of vets in their team, I think, to get over the Knicks. And I do think, though, that it can be a very good series. Like, I do think that it could be...
like a 4-2?
Yeah. Like, you know, I do think at some point in this series, I wouldn't be shocked if it is 2-2.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
Is that because the Knicks, they bottle it?
That's because I do have a little bit of a like...
Was it them you called Tottenham?
Yeah. Knicks and Clippers,
yeah,
they have a very much Tottenham energy around them.
Yeah.
And
we'll talk about death by Westbrook when we come to
yeah. The Knicks, I think the Knicks will edge them because they have Karl Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson.
They're probably just a better team.
Exactly.
Playoff experience.
Exactly. You've got players that have sort of been there and done it or can help them through it versus sort of a first-time playoffs run, Cade Cunningham.
Yeah.
And like their next best player is Malik Beasley and Dennis Schroeder.
Asar Thompson.
Yeah. Well, they're good players. They're all right, but it's a bit...
I think this must be the first playoffs for a lot of them.
Yeah.
And the playoff guys they do have, Tim Hardaway Jr. I don't need to
exactly. We saw what happened last year with Tim Hardaway Jr.
Luka.
Hey, what's his name though? From the 76ers. We got traded Tobias Harris. He had a good game.
Yeah.
Tobias Harris. I don't know how much.
But we know what
exactly. I don't know how much you can count on Tobias Harris, but he was doing his thing. 22 points for the half.
Yeah.
Tobias Harris was alright.
If he's putting up 22 and you lose,
it's not looking good. Yeah. They need more from Cade. I just think for Cade, all I really care about the Pistons is Cade showing out. Like, there's been so much hype about Cade this season and how good Cade's been. I need to see a playoff performance from Cade where I can be like, okay, this is what I have to look forward to.
It's interesting because it's a bit similar to Jalen Brunson last year when the Knicks got to the playoffs. All the talk was, I was hearing quite a few guys say that Jalen Brunson's been the best player in the league last year. So then it was like, okay, cool. When it comes to playoffs, let me see. And then they had a series with, was it Philly?
Yeah.
When he averaged like 35 points per game. I was like, okay, fair.
That looks like the best player.
Yeah, this guy so far in the playoffs, he's probably been the best player. And I think that's how guys are looking at Cade a bit.
That's what I want.
Just to kind of see something like, even not beat the Knicks, because like you say, the Knicks probably a better team.
Yeah.
If you can even lose 4-2, I think they've actually done all right.
100%. And same for the Knicks, sort of same for the Celtics, same for the Cavs. Like, we can only really judge them from the second round onwards. They should all be beating their first round opponents.
Yeah.
So in terms of how good they are or how good a team they are, you won't really know until they face another comparable team because odds are stacked in all of their favors.
Yeah.
Sort of pretty comfortably.
Yeah. So we're both so far it looks like we are agreeing.
No, the East is
when we come to the West, it's gonna be So stay tuned. Don't leave. Celtics Magic. Now I don't want to be disrespectful to the Magic, but we could do this one very quickly.
But
shout out Paolo. Paolo put up 30.
36 points.
14 rebounds or something. But Peyton Pritchard put up 19 off the bench in game 1. So Derek White went for 30.
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum went for like 17 and 16.
Yeah. Porzingis had like the worst game. He had 6 points, 9 points or something. I think. Look, this one we already know is going to be a sweep, and like Paulo could put up a 50-point game. It probably wouldn't win them that individual game.
Yeah.
He might be more helpless than Jan. Not helpless because he's got help. He's got a good team, but just the level of opponent he's up against, and it doesn't matter the stat line.
When Paulo and Franz outscored Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum,
and still can't get near them, still can't get anywhere near the scoreline. I mean, what can you do if you have 19 from Payton Pritchard off the bench? That's excluding Sam Hauser's buckets and everybody else.
Yeah.
And
the Derek White 30. Derek White's just going to go for 30 in game one.
The Celtics, the only thing I'm interested in the Celtics is to see what happens the day that they're cold from three. Like when the threes are going in, I know how dangerous the Celtics are. I know that like any game, I saw it last year in the finals and throughout the playoffs, like Celtics can be relatively close with the team and then everybody hits a three and the Celtics have a 15-point lead.
The issue with that is that I don't think Payton Pritchard gets cold from three.
It just stays on.
I think everybody else, Tatum, Brown, White, they could all get cold.
Yeah.
But it seems like Payton Pritchard, he's Missoula's go-to guy when we need to start like expanding the scoreline or whatever. And even when Payton Pritchard is somewhat cold, he'll just keep shooting until he's
up. Yeah. If not Sam Hauser, we'll get Sam Hauser in to come and sink this one.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, look, we both got the Celtics in that one. So, conference semifinals. First one will be Cavs, according to us, will be Cavs.
Pacers.
Which is interesting.
This is a very good series.
Interesting.
This is a very good series.
Obviously, the Cavs being the number one seed, but if the Pacers have gone through the Bucks, they've already got some pedigree.
Yeah. I think on paper, you would still lean towards the Cavs because of the regular season record and everybody's got high hopes for this Cavs team. But I would not be surprised. Like, I would not be surprised if, for example, the Cavs don't have an answer for like Miles Turner. You know, he's just maybe a bit too big and maybe a bit too strong. Like, yes, they've got Mobley. Yes, they've got this Jared Allen guy. But we know how the Pacers play. Everybody's sharing the ball around. It's quick movement. It's quick passing. TJ McConnell sinks a three. Miles Turner is in the paint. I think I will still go for the Cavs just because I think Donovan Mitchell, when it comes down to those close games, he will be the difference. I don't know. I love the whole perfect team play thing until there's like 3-4 minutes left.
Yeah, in the fourth quarter. Yeah,
and there's it's a 2-possession game, and I just need my go-to guy. I need my guy. And I know Donovan Mitchell's going to grab the ball and be assertive and all of this kind of stuff. So I would lean towards the Cavs, but I think this is going to be a hell of a series, and this could go 7 games.
Yeah. The thing I would say is that obviously Donovan Mitchell is their Cavs franchise player, but they are two very good teams, right? Like, it's not like the Bucks where there's like Giannis and then
yeah.
Like Donovan Mitchell's a franchise player, but Darius Garland, Mobley,
Ty Jerome. How can you leave him out?
Not after game one, I can't.
Max Strus.
Max Strus. So it's going to be interesting, but I guess the counter to your point is that the Pacers might not have one guy that's going to take over,
but the whole team can.
But whoever's hot in that game, whoever the hot hand is, if it's Nembhard, Toppin, Turner, Halliburton,
I just think
Siakam, they can spread the ball to whoever the hot hand
good.
is. Yeah,
Siakam can guard 1 through 5. You know,
Miles Turner can.
Yeah. I just think that because the Pacers play so quickly, like they move the ball quickly. They love the transition stuff. Halliburton's a good passer. Nembhard, TJ McConnell, all these guys are good passers. I wonder if the pace is sort of not the only way, but like their most likely way to beat the Cavs. Because I think a slowed down game allows Mitchell and Darius Garland and these guys to get to their spots, make their shots, dish out to Max Strus, dish out to Ty Jerome for threes. The game has to be quick to suit the Pacers. Like, Donovan's got to go quickly. If Donovan makes a 2, that's calm because we'll go quickly and we'll make a 3.
Yeah.
You know, so the pace of the game is going to matter a lot, man. And if Indy can control the pace of the game, they'll have way more success. Whereas I think if the Cavs can do what they do, they should win. They should win. I think the Cavs have more ways to win as well. I just think that the Pacers have a very clear and distinct way to win, and it's very it could happen.
Yeah,
it could happen for sure.
So what you got? Cavs in 7.
I've got Cavs. I'll actually go Cavs in 6.
Okay. This is tough. Because I don't know, man. I feel like this is almost like, because with the Pacers, like I said, they could all go for 10 to 15. But then if Donovan Mitchell goes for 40, 45, with the help around him, then it could be. But I think this is going to be the first one we disagree on, and I'm going to back the Pacers. You think the Pacers?
I will say,
I'm going to back the Pacers.
People have been giving the Pacers like an outside chance to reach the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah.
And I don't disagree with that.
Yeah,
Pacers are, we look, as you said, we were watching them last year. We know they're a good team. But even this season, they're a way better team than I was giving them credit for. Like, I knew they were a good team.
They were the 4th seed.
But I don't think many people would have put them, like, the guys that have it, like Boston, Cavs, then the Knicks, and then like Pacers, Bucks are like somewhere just outside.
Yeah.
But I think it's like Boston, Cavs, Knicks, Pacers.
I think if the Knicks were to play the Pacers
would win again.
Yeah.
I agree with that. But the way people have the Knicks,
it's
like they're just the 3rd best team in the the East, and everybody else is outside.
And these 3 are like a level above. 4 downwards.
You know.
Ultimately, though, like Cavs are probably the favorite if they were to play the Pacers, but ultimately, I don't think it matters.
Yeah.
Cavs or I go Pacers because
the
other one is Knicks Boston, and again, Boston are just doing this. We could just move on from this one. Maybe that's disrespectful.
This is the Knicks, tie. This is the tie that I can't say blows up the Knicks, but the coach definitely, Tom Thibodeau, gets fired. Like, I think.
Yeah, they're saying if he doesn't get to the finals, he's going to get sacked.
Everybody knows. Everybody knows that this Knicks team has been drafted together to be better than the Celtics, and I think once they realize how far off it they are with this current squad or this coaching or how it's used, then they'll sort of blow it up. Like, Bronson will stay. Don't get me wrong. Karl Anthony Towns will stay, but what's their friend's name who does the podcast with him? Josh Hart, and a couple of those other pieces. Mikal Bridges. They might have to change those around a little bit. OG Anunoby should stay as well.
Yeah.
OG's been balling, but like, I think the Knicks will see it as a we're far off the Celtics. Like, we're not.
Yeah, the Celtics have that. Like,
we're a good team, but it's
like the Man City thing.
Yeah.
Of like, we're just the best team in England, other than this absolute monster football team, football club, all of these players, whatever. I just think Boston. I think they might kill the Knicks just purely on an athleticism point of view.
Yeah. The Boston matchup is the worst. It's just a nightmare.
Yeah.
You've got 1 through 5 that are two-way players.
Yeah, especially with Porzingis.
Yeah, and the thing about Boston is, even if Tatum has a poor series versus Magic, he just won't have the next series won't be.
If they play New York, come on, man.
It doesn't matter. Like, this could be Bronson. This could be Jaylen Brown's season versus the Magic, or this could be Derek White's season. But it'll just be somebody else's. The next time around. So
which sounds like the Pacers. But yeah, look, we both got Boston going through there. So that would mean that in the conference finals, you've got Cavs, Boston, the 1 and 2 seeds, and I'd have Pacers, Boston. I think we're both probably going to agree on the result.
Yeah, Boston will win. I am holding out hope that the Cavs, somewhere along this journey to the playoff finals, become elite. Find this Ty Jerome guy is elite. He's just a stud, or like I hope that when they get to facing the Celtics, it can be close as opposed to like.
Just out of curiosity here, let's say that the Bucks were to beat the Pacers. And then the Bucks then played the Cavs.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that the Bucks or the Cavs would have a better chance versus Boston in the conference finals?
No, Cavs have a better chance
than the Bucks, and Giannis and Dame, and
do you know what?
Maybe Kuz is a bit of form. And
the thing about the Bucks is
I just think if you're going to take down Boston, I think you need that Giannis to do. You need like an absolute.
The thing about the Bucks that I do like is obviously you've got Giannis as the Giannis piece. No one's really going to be able to guard him. Like, they'll put bodies on him and they'll make it tough, but no one's really going to be able to guard him. But for the Bucks, if everybody else is having sort of a career series, like if Brook Lopez is shooting well, if this Green guy shooting well, if Dame's shooting well, if Kuzma shooting well, if Taurean Prince is shooting well, then it's like, well, you also have the shooting to and it's not going to be like for like. It's not going to be like for the threes that the Celtics make, you also make those threes. But if you make similar amount of threes and have Giannis,
because Celtics won't get points in the paint.
Whereas for the Cavs, who are a decent 3-point shooting team, I don't know if they have dedicated 3-point shooters the same way. Like, Donovan Mitchell's all right from three, Darius Garland's all right from three, but none of them are like.
I would say for both of them, they would want to get to the rim.
Yeah. And none of them, the rest of their squads, like you've got Mobley and Jared Allen and these guys are in the paint guys. None of them are like, crazy 3-point shooters. Max Strus and maybe this Ty Jerome guy are like their best 3-point shooters.
Yeah.
Which I just don't know is enough. Whereas for the Bucks, like Kuzma and Taurean Prince and all these guys, like it's really their specialty. Whether or not we think they're amazing at it, is really what they've specialized to do.
They should be.
They should be good at it. So I do hear your point about the Bucks having a decent chance, but it would literally have to be everybody fully fit and everybody having a miracle having a miracle series.
The only reason I'm really mentioning that is because I can't really see any other team in this conference being able to like really like stick it on Boston other than like Giannis's team.
But I know this Celtics super team has been building slowly, but it feels like it's just come overnight. Just feels like Snow Tips snapped their fingers and had 1 through 5 two-way guards of the highest level. So
we haven't even mentioned Drew.
Yeah. Apparently he played really well yesterday.
So look, we both got Boston in the finals. So we'll move on to the West, and this is not this one. We'll do this one very quickly. Thunder, Grizzlies, OKC. They're going through.
Thunder going through. Kind of like
won the first game by 51 points.
Kind of like Cavs, kind of like Knicks, kind of like Celtics. I was saying, like, no one will start to give the Thunder their respect until they play a decent team. No one knows how good they are until they play a decent team. Sorry, everybody knows how good.
Because apparently Shea didn't really have a great game.
Yeah. Apparently this was like his worst game since one of the early games in the beginning of the season.
Yeah, but everyone else seemed to go off. I saw Hardenstein get loads of points.
Yeah.
So OKC going through there. Not too much to talk about. Shout out John Morant for the celly though.
We'll have that.
Yeah. And they will play the winner of the Nuggets and the Clippers, which we watched game 1 together.
Hell of a game.
Game 1 went to overtime.
Yeah.
You said if game 1 goes to overtime, I don't think there's a better indication of a 7-game series. And of the actual matchups, this might just be the best one,
Yeah, this is a very good series, man. I mean, it took a lot.
Yeah.
To get this first up. Death by Westbrook. It took like some poor play from the Clippers down the stretch. Like there was some times that Kawhi and Harden weren't really getting the best looks, the best shot, to expect them to be better than what they showed. But this was really interesting because everybody was expecting, I think a lot of people are expecting the Clippers to go through. And I think everybody was expecting the Clippers to take game 1 because of the whole sacking of the GM, sacking of the head coach. And to be honest, maybe the Clippers should have taken game 1. Sorry, yeah, the Clippers should have taken game 1, but bro, Jokic and the Nuggets, they're not quite ready to say that they're done yet. They're not quite ready to say that this is over. Let's blow this up. And
Jamal Murray had a big game 1 as well.
Yeah, Jamal Murray had a big game 1. But
Aaron Gordon.
I really don't know what to make of this. I really think this is going to be a 7-game series and tough to call because, like, Murray did have a big game, but I think it's going to get worse for Murray. Like, I don't know if I was.
As in he's going to get worse, or
worse as in like Kawhi's just going to be on him more. Derrick Jones.
Agree.
Derrick Jones Jr. maybe will be in the lineup and he'll have a stiffer defensive competition from Derrick Jones Jr. I feel like if you was the Nuggets fan, as much as you're happy you won this game, I don't know if you saw a lot of like sustainable basketball.
Yeah.
to be we're 100% going to win this series.
And you know the thing about Murray is that like I get your point because he might finish game 2 with a similar number of points, but it felt like in game 1, every like 3 that Murray needed to drain, he drained. The Clippers are getting away, or Denver need to build a lead, or whatever it is. Like Murray might come up with a similar amount of points in game 2, but I don't know how important those points that he scores will be.
He shot. So look, Murray had 21, 9, and 7, which is all right. To be fair,
that's pretty good. Yeah,
played 47 minutes. Yeah, but it's also interesting looking at these box scores.
What did Aaron Gordon get?
Aaron Gordon got 25, 8, and 1.
Yeah, so I don't have like what you reckon that's going to be replicated.
I think Aaron Gordon, he is actually. I told you he's my wild card.
Because 25.
I think Aaron Gordon, he won't always get 25, but I think Aaron Gordon will always be somewhere between 18 and 25. And I don't think we'll get much over that. I think the interesting thing about Denver is that they only played 3 subs.
Michael Porter Jr. didn't get many minutes, right?
No, he didn't get many minutes. Yeah. And he got 26, Westbrook got 34. And they played 2 other guys off the bench, and that was it. So Nuggets only have their starting lineup. Yeah. And Westbrook. And if Michael Porter Jr. is not balling, it's Westbrook.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. So getting into the Westbrook stuff, I don't know. I still don't know what to make.
Yeah.
Of those, you saw how I was of those final sort of couple minutes of regular time, and then in overtime. Yeah. It's like Westbrook does one good thing, one terrible thing. One good thing,
that shot
one
when,
terrible
when
thing.
he didn't put the shot up.
He just hit a game. He just hit a huge 3. Jokic gives it back to him. You can't even get a shot up to beat the buzzer. You know, even do you remember the time when he should have like dribbled out and sort of recycled the ball, and then he's just gone straight into the defender.
And then to make a foul.
I think the Clippers ultimately will go through this series, but I think because of Jokic, Jokic will just be the best player of the series. The Nuggets have a chance to be super competitive in this. I think if the Nuggets were to go through, their ceiling is the second round. I think if the Clippers were to go through, they have a chance.
You think so?
At the Thunder. Yeah, I think the Nuggets
will lose to the Thunder.
Yeah. I think the Nuggets will lose to the Thunder. Even with Jokic being the best player in the series, I think the difference between the Thunder and the Clippers is that the Thunder actually have like 6 guys who can be decent scorers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Whereas the Clippers have got Kawhi, Norm, and James Harden.
Shout out James Harden.
He
made some big shots.
Yeah, and like everybody else can pitch in.
Clipper Nation's getting on to Norm though.
Yeah, no. Apparently Norm's not been the same since he's come back from injury.
They're saying Nick Batum has to start. You have to leave Norm on the bench.
But this was a great game, man, and I think this would be one that Ty Lue would have hated to lose because it was right there for him to win. And the win for the Nuggets must do them a world of good for their confidence. But if I was a Nuggets fan, I'd be like, I'm so happy we've won, but I don't know.
Can we play that well again?
I don't know how much of this is going to be sustainable. Like how many times they said, look, Russ made 17 shots. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like every other team is like, I want Russ to have 7. If Russ is having 17 shots,
agreed. I mean, they were letting Russ shoot from 3, right?
They were saying that. See that 3 that he made in the end to tie the game or to go up by 1 or whatever it was. It's like the most open 3 Russ has ever shot in the play of like he had like 9.6 feet of space.
Okay,
it's like everyone is saying Russ, get your shots up. Russ, make those shots, and I hear that as a coach. Let Russ make those shots because he's gonna make some. He's gonna miss. He's gonna miss more than he's gonna make. You know, so I don't know how far the Nuggets can go if Russ is taking 17 shots at this stage of his career.
Yeah, I mean, Russ is notoriously a terrible 3-point shooter.
Yeah.
So, and I agree with your point on the sustainability thing because all I really heard from the Clipper Nation, which I'm an honorary member of this season, is that like the way that they've lost game 1 doesn't actually hurt them too much.
Yeah, and they're away from home, which
because they're like, if Russ is gonna do that, and obviously they're rebounding. I mentioned the rebounding, and whatever else from Kawhi, from James Harden, from whoever's spoken about it, it seems very much like they feel like they might have been the better team, but in certain moments, things didn't swing their way.
I swear, if the Clippers took care of the ball better in the stretch and in OT, that game was theirs.
Yeah.
That game was theirs. You know, like I swear, the reason the ball got turned over, like remember they tried to inbound the ball and Russ did something, and
Russ knocked it out of Kawhi's hands
back onto Kawhi.
He hit Kawhi and then went out.
You know, if you're more careful with the ball, Kawhi gets a good shot there.
Yeah. And they were asking Kawhi about that.
James Harden gets a good shot there, and you can win the game.
Agreed.
So if I was a Clipper fan, I wouldn't be too worried. And as well, look, you're away from home. So it's like the Nuggets needed that one. Imagine if they didn't get that one and they're staring down the barrel of potentially losing 2 at home.
And like we say, game 1 doesn't matter.
We'll see.
So, Clippers, yeah?
Clippers.
Yeah, I've got the Clippers as well. So
in 7. Because Jokic...
Yeah, probably.
Because Jokic will win.
Yeah.
Jokic could win another 2 games.
And
by himself.
The Clippers are going to have to win one in Denver.
Yeah.
So
the next one.
Yeah, hopefully. We'll move it on. Lakers, Timberwolves, another. What I thought before game 1 would be not easy, but maybe fairly straightforward for the Lakers. Has almost changed my mind completely after game 1. And I'm now looking at Minnesota and the Timberwolves with, like, they've surprised me. I should give them a bit more respect. I didn't realize how deep the team was. I saw the Dante DiVincenzo 3.
Yeah.
I've actually got Jaden McDaniels down as one of my MVPs.
I didn't underestimate the Timberwolves, but
yeah, you were saying even you were like maybe I wanted the Warriors.
Yeah.
Before,
like exactly when the Warriors were,
and that's what I was thinking. Now I was like maybe the Warriors.
When the Warriors were playing Clippers in the last day of the season, I was like, I kind of maybe want. At the time, I was like, I want the Clippers to win this game so that I don't have to play the Warriors and we can play the Timberwolves. But then as I was thinking about it in the days in between, I was like, oh man, Edwards and Dante Div and Julius Randle, McDaniels and Gobert, and I just think the Timberwolves are a tough matchup for anybody.
Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
I just think they're a tough matchup for anybody, and especially if Jaden McDaniels is playing the way he was playing, especially if Nard Reed is hitting corner threes and spacing the floor. Like Rudy doesn't need to do too much for them in this series because we don't necessarily have a center for him to match up against. So even when he does play, he's like a differential guy because we don't have a 7-foot, blocker at the rim or anybody to do all of that kind of stuff. And it was a tough loss for the Lakers, bro. Not many people played well. Like Luka got his buckets, but not many people.
I think AR, he didn't have a good first half. I think he ended.
He ended all right. Yeah. Not many people played well for the Lakers. I think as a guy rooting for the Lakers, I'm just holding my hat on adjustments. And JJ looking at film and tape and changing things up, and LeBron playing way better than he played. And
a lot of people just saying that the Lakers just looked like they didn't realize this was playoff basketball.
I think maybe I don't know. It's tough because I don't want to say that there was an air of arrogance from the Lakers, because I know that they all know that this is a tough game and this is a tough team. But there was definitely from the Timberwolves we're dogs. We're not afraid of the moment. This is Anthony Edwards has obviously been here before in the sense of done playoff runs, beating teams when he's meant to be the underdog.
All of those Timberwolves players look like they have that thing. Exactly. It's the Lakers.
Exactly.
They've all been speaking about it, and
when Ant Edwards is your leader, man, and he doesn't fear anybody. He's not going into any series worried about what people are saying of their chances in winning this series and stuff. It just rubs off on Julius Randle and everybody else is.
Even I saw the interview afterwards. Jaden McDaniels was like, "Ant's always telling me to take my shots no matter what. I've got the support of my teamates and stuff." And
it's going to be a tough series, bro. It's going to be a tough series.
But game 2 in this one, massive.
I can't tell you how big game 2 is.
If Timberwolves take both in LA,
backs against the wall now, going to Minnesota.
Yeah, come on.
But I've always said this:
Lakers will get game 2.
Not that Lakers will get game 2, but there will be a backs against the wall Luka 45, LeBron 40 game. I don't know if that will be enough, because if you lose game 2 and you have that as game 3, but you lose game 4, and then but there will be this is a potential elimination game for the Lakers, and Luka and LeBron both go crazy.
And that could happen in LA or Minnesota.
Yeah, Lakers have to get. I think for this series though, and this is like a trend, I feel like the teams that are experienced, quote unquote, and Timberwolves don't have like a massive wealth of experience, but as I say, Anthony Edwards is their leader and all this kind of stuff. Like,
but they didn't last year, and they made it to the conference final.
I don't know how much the playing at home versus playing away from home affects them. I think the same for the Lakers. I feel like for LeBron and Luka, playing at home, playing away from home, it's not a massive difference.
We spoke about this, isn't it?
Whereas I think for the younger teams, and obviously we're going to come on to Houston, I don't think it affects the Clippers that much as well. Like playing at home, playing away from home. Kawhi and Harden, they've just been there and done that and seen it a million times. Even Batum and all those guys, how many games have they played? Yeah. So I think for this home advantage stuff, it's really only these inexperienced young teams, the Magic,
Pistons.
the Pistons,
Rockets.
The Rockets, like Memphis. Like I don't think for some of these guys that have been here or have done runs for the past 2 seasons that they're necessarily worried. Like the Lakers can go to Timberwolves and win 2 games. It will be tough, don't get me wrong.
100%.
But it can be done. It can be one of those series where it's just like we're just gonna win at each other's places.
Yeah, the only thing that we were talking about the Clippers Nuggets, and whether something's sustainable. With the Timberwolves, I'm a bit like, well, I've seen Naz Reid do this in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I've seen Naz Reid consistently drain that one.
I've seen Jaden McDaniels be a great defender, be a great player.
Yeah, not score.
Yeah.
But then I've seen like Ant didn't have as many points as I maybe thought Ant might get, right? Then Nickeil Alexander-Walker, I've seen Nickeil Alexander-Walker have lockdown D.
Yeah.
Right? I've seen Rudy Gobert do his thing. Like, and that's what we were saying off air. I don't want game 1 to I don't want to be too knee jerk.
Yeah.
I'm starting to look at it like, well, maybe Minnesota this is just who they are.
Just looking at the starting lineup: McDaniels, Randall, Gobert, Edwards, Mike Conley, DiVincenzo off the bench, Naz Reid off the bench, Alexander Walker off the bench.
They're a deep team.
Like those are some decent pieces that also have playoff experience.
Yeah.
As you say, went to the finals last year. This one, I think Lakers will still win. I'm going with the Lakers. I think I can't bet against the 2 CPUs of LeBron and of Luka.
Yep.
But what this would mean for Ant's sort of legacy and stature and
Ant was loving it. Some of the stuff Ant did.
And we're already Ant fans.
Yeah.
And like it's okay for Ant to lose this one as well. It's not like it's gonna
it's not Shea.
Make it's not gonna make or break his basketball career. But how more in love I would be with Ant, and this is my Lakers team he would be knocking out. But how much more I would be in love with Ant, how much more he would grasp the face of the league conversations and all of that kind of stuff if Ant was to knock out. Just bear in mind, let's not get this twisted. A week ago, before game 1, everyone was saying like, I think Lakers are going to go to the Western Conference Final. I think it's OKC. And
this was almost the biggest shot.
It was.
Of game 1s.
It was.
Because even though Denver beat the Clippers, that's more of a closer matchup before the... And that's what I'm saying. I think maybe some eyes have been opened or whatever. In terms of Ant, as a young... he hasn't necessarily some quote unquote earned his stripes, because guys will say you only do that when you win or whatever. But as a young guy in the NBA, I feel like he earned his stripes last year. When he went to the finals.
Yeah.
So like you say, this one it's not going to affect him if he loses, but it could be big.
But it could be
big. It
would be not could be. It would be.
Yeah.
To take out LeBron, to take out Luka in their first season. Yes, the Lakers.
First round.
Yeah. Yes, the Lakers they're not a fully formed team. We know they need a center and all this kind of stuff, but still, for Ant to potentially send them home, and what it would mean if Ant takes game 2 and the media storm, the media show, and the media's been kind to the Lakers.
Ant himself has a big game.
The media's been kind to the Lakers for now, but if the media is waiting for the Timberwolves to take game 2, and the shit storm that will land on people's feet. How good the coach is, Reddick, and all of that is coming.
Bro, Stephen A was talking after game one like the series was over.
It was over, yeah. So it's one to watch, bro. Of all the series to watch, this is like right up there with. It's gonna be gonna be a close one, but I'll still take the Lakers in
You're going Lakers, yeah?
Probably 7.
See, I'll be honest. I told you off there before this. It was just Lakers all the way. Lakers probably in 5.
yeah.
But I don't know now. I don't know. Part of me wants to go Timberwolves because I'm just looking at their team and I'm thinking, for as special as Luka and LeBron are, for as great as they are,
are they as hungry as Ant?
Not even that. They probably are, right? I don't think you could ever question LeBron's hunger.
Same as,
and Luka's hasn't won yet.
Yeah. Coming off a finals.
It's just in terms of the depth of the team. Personally, I'm gonna rely more on Nas. Like I said, I've seen them do this.
Yeah.
Then AR or
Roy Hachimura.
Yeah, Dalton Connect.
Yeah.
Whoever it is that might come in.
Van Doe.
Yeah, so for that reason, I'm gonna go Timberwolves. But that could just be game one. Like Lakers might come back and win the next 4
comprehensively,
and then go
not the next 4, but like if the Lakers win the next one, game 2, JJ's made the tweaks and there's a comprehensive win.
Yeah.
Everybody's right back at square one of like, well, which
yeah. And it could come back because Naz Reid might not go off. And
McDaniels might not be 100% from 3.
Just from those the role players almost that Minnesota have, I'll go with them.
I'm not mad at that, but come on, you Lakers.
But that tells you how much game one's changed my mind. Right?
I mean, it's not just that they won; they were very well deserved winners.
The sustainability thing. It's not like I didn't watch the game live, but I saw the all possessions.
Yeah.
Shout out NBA League post. That thing is clutch. So I watched the all possessions, and I was watching it, and I was like, oh, well, I saw Naz Reid do this last year. I saw Nickeil Alexander-Walker do this last year. I saw Jaden McDowell, all these guys. So I'm like, yeah. So I'll go Timberwolves on that one. Last one on the West, Rockets-Warriors. Warriors took game 1. It was good from the Warriors, I thought. I watched that game. Playoff Jimmy.
Steph.
I
hate Steph. I've come back to
some of those Steph shots.
I've come back to hating on Steph. I've done a full circle moment of like hating Steph,
but it's still a love hate.
It's a love hate. Like, of course, Steph is unbelievable. Of course, Steph has changed the game. Of course, I admire and respect Steph. I'm just not a Golden State guy, and when and like in particular, the whole like a team has played good defense on Steph for 2 or 3 possessions, 2 or 3 minutes, 30 seconds, and I just see Steph wind up for what looks like a half-court heave. And just drain it, nothing but net.
I mean, that shot he hits from like the right side of the court. Come on,
I hate Steph, bro. You play good defense on Steph, you make a run, or you stop them from making a run, and Steph will just respond with the toughest shot you've ever seen in the NBA. From deep. From way behind the yard.
And he's not like set himself.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not stopped or like, even when they do the step back, he's still running, and then he just somehow throws the ball up.
It's just so unfair. It's just so like, how's a coach meant to really squeeze that out the game? How's a coach meant to mark that out the game? What X's and O's can you draw up to make sure that somebody doesn't hit? You want everybody to take that shot. The clock's winding down. You've got your best 2 defenders on him. You've tried to trap the ball. Like, you want everybody taking that shot, but Steph's gonna drain. He's gonna nothing but net. He's gonna make it look easy.
And there was Draymond and Şengün. That was good.
Şengün, I think, is the
next
pivotal piece in this series. Because they don't really have an answer for Şengün. If Draymond's the answer for Şengün, they don't really have an answer for Şengün. And Draymond will defend Şengün in better moments. Like, he'll have moments where he locks him down, and Draymond's like...
But Şengün posterized him.
The fuck?
Yeah.
Like, Draymond's very good at, like, making timely stops. You know, like certain guys might come off or go off on Draymond, but then the stretch in the 4th, your guys got 0 buckets and Draymond's kept him quiet, you know? So Şengün needs to do that. Şengün needs to get into his bag. Şengün needs to get to the cup. Şengün needs to make the mid-ranges, you know, even the behind the arc stuff. I really like Şengün's game.
Yeah.
And what he's been doing there for the Rockets.
Şengün did his thing. I mean, this guy on the wall, Fred VanVleet, getting a lot of flack, getting a lot of heat. He was like, before he made this shot in the last couple of minutes of the fourth quarter, he was 1 from 10 from 3. And Fred VanVleet's a 3-point shooter. Like, that's his thing. Yeah, he should sink those. And when you look at the points difference, if VanVleet maybe makes 2-3 more of those,
he was 2 from 13 from 3.
There you go,
15%.
And what was the final score? What was the point
lost difference? By 10. They lost by 10, 85. Right?
So VanVleet goes 5 for 13.
Yeah, it's a whole different thing, and it was a close one as well, obviously.
And I'm expecting VanVleet to step up, right? I'm expecting that to be VanVleet's worst scoring.
Yeah. Also, Jalen Green didn't do that well. 7 points.
Jabari Smith did all right, right?
Yeah. Jabari Smith did all right. I think, I actually really like Houston.
Yeah.
Not really like Houston. I think this is a really close series, but I would give it to Houston because I still saw yesterday Houston's path to victory. Like, Curry made those shots. You was always gonna bank on a Curry game in this series where Curry just goes off and effectively wins the game for his team. Yeah, let's hope that that's one of 2 or 3 maybe in the series. 1 of 2, preferably. Because if it's 3, But
that's Curry though, isn't it?
That's
Curry could have 3 of those.
He could. But for the Rockets, man, when you play Steven Adams, when you play Jabari Smith, when you play Asar Thomas, Şengün,
Jalen Green,
bro, no one can out-rebound you guys. There was stretches where it was like Rockets are getting rebounds for like 2 minutes in a row. Golden State can't get.
I was actually going to mention Jimmy because in that fourth quarter, especially towards the end, Jimmy was coming up with some big rebounds.
Coach has told him, bro, we're never going to get anywhere unless we grab the ball. So if I was the Rockets, the problem with the Rockets is they don't really have any sort of fourth quarter offense. It seems like they don't run any pick and rolls or screens or anything like timeouts or anything like that. And they also don't really have a go-to scorer. Like Fred VanVleet's meant to be the guy of we need a bucket for sure. Maybe we'll get it to Fred to get us a bucket because Jalen Green is up and he's down. So if they had that, it makes it easier. But if I was the Rockets, I'll go big. I'll play Steven Adams. I'll play Şengün. I'll play Jabari Smith. And I would out-rebound the Golden State and get second attempts, second points, second chance points, all of that kind of stuff. And you will go far in this series if you just beat up Golden State on the glass. They really don't have the bodies.
Yeah.
That lineup that they're playing of Draymond, Moody, Podziemski, Butler, Curry is good. Good skill levels. It's not physical. It's not strong. Or you could be more physical. You could be stronger.
But I feel like the Warriors they're almost used to that. The Warriors win their games,
so
not getting rebounds.
So this is how the experience and intelligence comes into it. Where the Warriors obviously massively outplay the Rockets is they just have so much playoff experience. They know when to foul, how to foul, who to foul. Draymond and Curry, they know what plays to run. They know how to get a quick bucket. There was so many times where it was the Houston are trying to make a run, or Houston are cutting the lead down. It's like a 3-point lead, and just Draymond and Curry get into a 2-man action, and they get a good bucket, get a perfect bucket, they get an open shot for someone.
Yeah.
So,
and also what you're saying about the almost a bit of the inexperienced teams, how home court advantage and whatever affects you. The Warriors have already got one in Houston.
This is why you're saying that the Timberwolves Lakers game 1 is the most important, or game 2 is the most important. For me, anyway, my prediction.
Yeah, this goes 2-0.
It has to be exactly. It has to be this one. If you're the Rockets, you have to get the next game. You have to get the next game.
Game 2 is game 7 for them.
Because quite literally. Because I don't really think that you've got the mentality and togetherness and mental spirit and experience and know-how.
State
and get 2 games. And get 2 games.
Yeah.
Because that's what you need. You can't come back with just
3-1.
Yeah. So Rockets need to get this next game. But as I say, I see the path to victory for the Rockets, bro. Just beat them up on the glass, get your buckets, get your rebounds, get your putbacks, get all of that kind of stuff, get Jalen Green and Fred VanVleet to double digits. Literally get them both to double digits.
So you're going Rockets, yeah?
And I'm going to go Rockets in 7. Because I think Rockets will get the next one. And then I think it will literally be 1-1-1. I think Golden State will get the first one at home. Rockets will get...
So the Rockets are going to go and get one.
Skin of their teeth. Game 4. Rockets win. Could be Dylan Brooks 3 at the end. I'm telling you. 3 at the end to win it.
I'm going to go Warriors. I think even if they hadn't won game 1, I probably would have given it to them. I've seen playoff Jimmy for 4 or 5 years.
Jimmy's doing his thing.
I know what I'm going to get from Jimmy. I know Steph. I think even the Rockets could dominate them on the boards, and Steph can just cancel that out with some threes. And look, and like you say, the inexperience. I like the Rockets as a team. I think Ime Udoka's a very good coach.
Yeah, he is. But they're missing a piece, man.
Yeah. And the experience and all of that, I think, will come into it.
The Golden State are missing a piece too. Like, as I said, Jimmy can't play 42 minutes. Steph can't play 37, 38 minutes.
Yeah. There was a timeout yesterday when Steve Kerr he asked Draymond, Jimmy, and Steph, do you guys need a minute? Do you guys need to rest for a minute? And they're all like, no, they go back.
Like someone else, Pajemski, Kuminga, all of those guys. Like someone else.
Pajemski did all right, man.
He's gonna have to hold it down for them. He's gonna have to hold it down for those guys.
Buddy Hield.
Did you see Jimmy at the end of the game telling Buddy stop dribbling?
I don't like to see Buddy dribbling. Okay, so in the West, the conference semis, we both agree Thunder Clippers.
Yeah, Thunder Clippers.
I've said I've maybe been more harsh on OKC than you have.
Yeah.
I do think that and it's not like I don't think OKC are a good team, or that they're not living up to expectations. Because if they buck the Clippers in the semis, my expectation is that the Clippers will win.
I think OKC will. I expect OKC to win, but I wouldn't be shocked at all if Clippers won, because I can see this capitulation that you're talking about of like,
and I think it's a good matchup for the Clippers.
It is a good matchup for the Clippers, because it's the same. It's to what we've been talking about with the Houston Rockets and this kind of stuff. Like, as good as the Thunder team is, as great as they are, as phenomenal as they are quite young, and if the Clippers make it out of the Nugget series, they'll probably be thinking we've just sent the best player home.
The momentum.
Yeah, so the momentum's going to be there for them, as well as the fact that you've got Kawhi and Harden and all those guys feeling good about themselves going into another playoff round. Like, we've not been sent home yet. All right, calm. However, the reason I'm going for the Oklahoma City Thunder, is because I'm putting a lot of pressure on Shea. I said it. Shea, for me, bare minimum, has to get to the Western Conference Finals. Has to. So I can't say that and not be picking him to get there. He has to.
I think that's a. I want to say it's a fair expectation,
because he's been the best record in the West 2 years in the running. 2 years in a row.
I'm also like, if he bucks the Clippers and I expect him to go home, is it a fair expectation?
Like, if he bucks the Clippers, and
even if he bucks the Nuggets, and you were saying that you think that OKC will probably beat the Nuggets, but
I think OKC. The Clippers is tough. The thing about the Clippers is tough, but OKC, Shea has to step up and be the best player, and then you've got the whole team thing, like Jalen Williams and Caruso and Chet Holmgren and all Hartenstein, all these other guys that are meant to be like this combination of a powerful team. I just can't see. It's so damaging for the OKC if they don't make it to the Western Conference Finals, because it's like, how good? Like, what does it matter if you're beating up everybody in the regular season only for the seventh best team who, like, their star has been injured for 3/4 of the year to come and beat you again? At some point, you have to put in 7 games, 8 games.
Like, we are the number one team
exactly for a reason.
For me, this is a bit similar to the Timberwolves and the Lakers, where I think that the Clippers roster might just be a bit deeper. I might just, with Derrick Jones Jr., with
Bogdanovic,
Nick Batum, with Norman Powell, with Bogdanovic, with the guys that they have.
And coaching as well. I think Ty Lue might be a better coach.
Yeah. You've spoken about Ty Lue. I think, and then if Shea's like the franchise player, the Clippers have Harden and Kawhi. who you could probably pick either of them to be a franchise player. It'll be close. It'll be close.
That know-how, like when to get fouls, how to get fouls. Like I expect Clippers and Thunder games to almost be like the first 40 minutes of the 48 minutes are like not irrelevant but mean nothing because it's tie game for the final 8 minutes. Yeah. So now it's like who's gonna get to their spots to make their shots.
It's just Shea and Harden at the free throw line.
So who's gonna do that better? And that's a very good competition.
But Harden in that situation, Harden's got the experience.
But Shea's the young dog, and Shea's got the new moves of like, this is how I get to the line.
It'd be so good to watch Shea being guarded by Kawhi,
and also Shea, former Clipper. He got traded.
I didn't even know that.
Shea got traded out of the Clippers when they got Paul George. So then Shea had to be sent to the Thunder. So Shea has a chip on his shoulder. He has to prove to his former franchise. Yeah, for sure. You let me go not for no reason, but for like.
Did he get drafted there?
So he got drafted there. Okay. And then when Paul George went to the Clippers, Shea went the other way to OKC.
So what are you saying, OKC?
I'm saying OKC because I have to put pressure on Shea to get to the final. But it's not because I don't think the Clippers can beat OKC. I just think if OKC is this team that everybody has been saying, like people have been speaking about since about like game week 20 or whatever in the NBA, that like, oh, this team is going to the finals. This team's going to the finals.
I mean, their record was ridiculous.
It is. So it has to mean something. Yeah. It has to mean. It can't mean for you to get here.
But that
and for me to choose the Clippers over you.
It was OKC in it that had the stat against like the other like top teams in the West or whatever.
It's getting a bit.
Well, fair. Look, I'm gonna go Clippers. I told you I'm an honorary member of Clipper Nation this year.
Clip City.
Yeah, and I do think that they could have enough to beat OKC just on maybe an experience level, but it'll be an interesting series. So then this one, so you'll have Lakers Rockets.
Yeah.
Conveniently in the semifinals. And I'll have Timberwolves Warriors. So I'll let you go first.
I think Lakers will beat the Rockets because
Şengün and Lakers don't have a center and the rebounding and you see the pathway.
They're not going to out rebound Hachimura. They're not going to out.
They're talking about Rui, man.
Vanderbilt, come on, he's a tough rebound.
And you see,
I actually, as much as I think the Rockets are going to go through, I'm preparing myself for a Lakers Warriors second round.
To be honest, that one's maybe a bit more interesting to talk about.
I'm preparing myself for a Lakers Rockets.
Because then we take one of your teams, one of my teams.
And I'm also saying this on the like, my Rockets getting through is more
hope.
A bit more hope because I actually the whole Steph experience and Jimmy experience should get it done. Yeah, but I give him a chance. But if it is Lakers Golden State, boy.
Emotions running high.
I would have rather it in the first round because I don't want two teams to like. I don't want Golden State to know. All right, this is what works. This is what doesn't. You know, this is what doesn't work.
And also at that point, you're 2 games away from the finals.
Yeah,
well, 2 series away from the finals.
I would go Lakers over Golden State, but that is out of bias because I've never seen Luka beat Steph, and. I think Jimmy would be the wild card in that series, and I think if Jimmy gets to work, and because it's not just like the buckets that Jimmy's gonna bring,
the two-way player.
Yeah, he's gonna lock up Reeves and potentially like maybe he keeps Luka to under 30.
What are you saying about Draymond Green making the big play? That's playoff Jimmy. Jimmy will make it, like I was saying, in that fourth quarter. They're getting killed on rebounds all of a sudden. The last couple of minutes, Jimmy's picking up their boards.
That is playoff Jimmy. I just think that, and Steve Kerr is a hell of a coach, man. So he's going to get the X's and O's right to get Curry the shots that he needs. And I know Curry's going to turn it on versus the Lakers.
Do you think there's any, obviously this is JJ Redick's first season. He's obviously done very well to have the Lakers in the third seed in the toughest conference. Do you think there's any sort of playoff inexperience as a coach?
I do think that
could affect them.
I don't think he would see it versus the Timberwolves, and it's not that the Timberwolves don't have a good coach. They have a very good coach. I just know that Steve Kerr's on a different level to like pretty much everyone in the West. He's got, like
even Ty Lue.
And Ty Lue's a very good coach.
Yeah.
Ty Lue's got one chip with Bron. Yeah, but Steve Kerr, he's not only got the Steph chips and he's not only got his personal chips, but he's also got the Team USA chip as head coach. And like, as much as America have the best team, we saw how like Russia, Germany and France, all these guys have been playing for 2 years to get to that moment. And Steve Kerr has just like Steve Kerr has like 4 weeks to get some guys together to win the chip. But he's got the X's and the O's, and he's telling them this is what we need to do. I think.
I feel like there's tax on that because I feel like, especially in the final, he was just running the Spo tax, but Steve Kerr was also just running the Curry.
The Curry plays. Well, that's what you do.
It's not like he has to teach this team a whole new thing. He just runs the Curry play,
and he tells the KD, "Yeah, we're bringing this back. We're bringing this back."
Yeah.
No, but I think Steve Kerr could outcoach JJ in a second round, like been here before a million times. Just
an experience.
Just an experience thing, and it's not that JJ will be terrible. It's just that like in the NBA, it's so marginal. You see how it is, like when to call for a challenge, when to call for a timeout, when to call for a substitution, when to get someone in, someone out.
So who are you gonna have in the conference finals then?
Thunder. Lakers apparently, because if I have Lakers to beat Golden State, it's gonna be Thunder Lakers. I can't have
because you have the Lakers, so then you'll have the Lakers to beat the Rockets and the Lakers to get there.
Yeah. I can't have. I think the Thunder will get there. I can't have Lakers. Sorry, I can't have the Warriors in the Western Conference Final. Like I know they're a good team. I just feel like they're short. Their like downfalls are obvious. They've got Steph has to do magic every night for the Warriors to win a game. Every night Steph has to do a madness. And then Jimmy has to do everything else. He has to defend, he has to rebound, he has to make assists, he has to get buckets himself. And surely there's a coach out there who's like, all right, either Steph does his thing or Jimmy does his thing, and not both.
But how many times have guys said that? Not necessarily Jimmy, but Steph and whoever the other guy was.
Yeah. So I don't even think necessarily it's a team beating you. I just think it's two guys that are actually
it's just Şengün
give respect to Draymond, but I just think it's two guys for the Golden State Warriors who are beating you. Yeah. So if you can make it split that in two and make one guy beat you, like all right, Steph goes off, we're gonna let Steph get his buckets, or all right, I'm locking Steph down. It's gonna be tough for Steph, but Jimmy.
And we'll live with that or whatever.
Just don't let them in tandem do it. And that's why I think Golden State can't make it to the finals. And it's not to say that that's different from the Lakers. The Lakers very much are like a two-man game. Yeah. I'm just expecting some Luka madness.
Yeah.
And I'm also expecting a bit of Austin Reeves to help out along with JJ and Bron. So I am praying for a miracle as much as Warriors fans are praying for a miracle. I'm just looking at their weaknesses and being like, surely some coach finds.
Because the thing is, I've seen Jimmy take a team of like I don't want to say bombs, just a team of maybe below average guys.
Caleb Martin, they've never played for anybody else other than Hornets.
When LeBron won with the Lakers, Jimmy was in the finals then, right? He beat Boston in the conference finals to play Denver.
Yeah.
Playoff Jimmy's a real thing. I saw Draymond talking about it. He's like, a lot of guys have nicknames that are undeserved. I'm right. He was like, that one's definitely true.
It's a full-time winner, Draymond. Draymond doesn't give credit to anybody.
Agreed. So for my matchups, I would have Warriors Timberwolves, Draymond versus Rudy. I think that's a very, very interesting matchup. Timberwolves and the Warriors.
I think that is a very, very, very interesting matchup. But I think Timberwolves
will beat the Warriors.
See,
I want to go that way, but the playoff Jimmy and the Steph.
But so playoff Jimmy, the difference is,
Jimmy v. Ant would be so good.
Jimmy v. Ant would be so good, but it's not just Jimmy v. It's not just Jimmy v. Ant, because now it's like Jimmy versus Alexander Walker, Jimmy versus McDaniels, Jimmy versus Ant as well. It's like those three guys rotate. See what I'm saying about a coach telling one of two. Like the coach for the Timberwolves tells those three guys either lock down Steph, tough shots for Steph, or lock down Jimmy. No back cuts, no slashing.
But you know it's easier said than done. Lockdown Steph tough shots.
Yeah, it's easier said
that
than
almost like goes in one ear and out the other ear.
We saw.
Look at, you know what I'm saying.
We saw Astor Thompson was
what like
flustered. And what else can I do?
I'll always bring it back to that time when they beat Boston in the finals. Robert Williams, every time he was up on that. He was up on the screen. He was there on Curry, and Steph was making the shot.
Why I like the Timberwolves is because they have more pieces to throw, like defensive pieces to throw.
And to be fair, that's why I said that they would probably go past the Lakers.
You've got and I mean the Draymond versus Gobert.
Rudy, come on.
That is box office.
Back again for a place in the conference finals.
So then Julius Randle, he's another one who you should add in to face Jimmy. Strong guy, strong defender. Jimmy shouldn't be able to.
I need to see more from Julius Randle.
I agree. And he has a poor playoff record.
Because Jimmy's
but I'm just talking about defensively.
Like Julius Randle.
Make it tough for him.
Yeah. Okay. But Jimmy, like if Jimmy needs to get stops, he'll get stops because that's what he's done before. If Jimmy needs to get buckets, buckets. I don't know.
It just needs to be different looks, different people, different angles.
I have a
rotation.
You're not going to want to hear this, but I have a feeling they
Warriors
might
make
get to
it.
The finals.
I'm not on that.
The conference final. I know, but I just have a feeling. And I personally, I would want it to be the Timberwolves.
So
I'd love to see Ant go there.
Do you think they get past the Thunder, Warriors, that is, if they do make it to the...
I've got the Clippers. And they lose to the Clippers. Clipper Nation. Let's go. Clipper Nation.
That's so nasty. That's so nasty. This is like the only Clippers team I've liked, by the way.
Yeah.
Like I actually don't mind if this Clippers team.
But I think the thing about the Clippers is that like they're kind of big two.
Yeah.
I think can compete with anybody's big two.
I agree. And Zubac is in there, and Zubac is making things tough for people.
Yeah. So then. But I think the Timberwolves Warriors one, I think that could be a 7-game series. I don't know. That could be Timberwolves and I would love to see that, yeah. And even though I'm Clipper Nation, if the Timberwolves got to the finals, I would low-key want to see Ant win and go to the finals.
Yeah, that would be big. We're forgetting about Naz Reid as well.
Yeah. I mentioned Naz Reid. I said I've seen Naz Reid do this.
So Steph's making the threes, but Naz Reid's making the threes.
But playoff Jimmy. That's the. I just don't know. Bro, some of those Miami teams.
Yeah. I know. I know all too well.
Jimmy Buckets.
I know all too well. I got the shirt. I should have bought the shirt.
Yeah, for real. I just don't know. I think there's a level of dog there. I think when Jimmy's just... I remember watching that one with Boston when JT was going for 60, but Jimmy was going for 65. And Boston were clearly a better team. And I know they've gone to the finals. They ended up getting swept maybe. But, look, that one's close, but either way, whether it's Timberwolves or Warriors, I'm gonna go Clippers to get to the finals.
So,
and who have you got? OKC, Lakers.
I've got OKC.
OKC going. So OKC to the finals.
The finals.
Okay. I mean, if they do that, job done. Fair play, Shay.
Monkey off your back.
Yeah, nothing more to be.
You've done what Luka's done and what Ant's done.
Yeah.
Okay, not gonna make it to the finals, but
run. Yeah, agreed. Okay, so...
But who do you think beats... So in your world...
Clippers Boston.
Yeah, Clippers Boston.
Boston. I really want to argue that one, but I just think Boston are just a bit too tapped,
man. I agree.
I think they're a bit too tapped.
I think
push the Clippers as far as I can push them.
I think if Kawhi makes it all the way to a finals...
Yeah, it could be very interesting.
I think we could see Tatum 2 points, 4 boards. Clamped, lockdown defense, nothing going. Yo, Kawhi might clamp 2 guys. He might
Jaylen Brown. Yeah, for real. But then Peyton Pritchard will get his 15, and
that's why I don't like
Derek
the Celtics.
White will get his 15.
That's why I don't like the Celtics.
I just think that Boston.
Kawhi will play 40 minutes, clamping the 2 best players in the team.
Like
Drew Holiday will step up and get 25.
It's gonna sound like ridiculous to say, yeah, because there might not be someone who's put a team on their back more than Kawhi and the Raptors. But if he wins against Boston, it might be more impressive. It genuinely might be more impressive. If he does what you're saying, he locks down 2 guys and he's putting up 30 and he's taking down this absolute beast of a team. But
that's what it's gonna take.
Yeah,
that's literally what it's gonna take.
And I can't sit here and say Kawhi's gonna do that. So I have to go Boston as my champs.
I think,
and you've got OKC Boston.
I think Thunder Celtics is a good series.
I wonder what their regular season record is against each other. We'll have to Google that afterwards. I think, yes, like Celtics are by far and away the best team in the NBA. We've said it a million times. Look, they're starting 5 or 2-way players, all of them. And, you know, like they can all go for 30. Like, no one would be shocked if any of the top like 6 players, 7 players for the Celtics went for 25, 30 points. So they are the best team. I just pray
it's not.
I just pray that either, it sounds bad, like there's some injuries to make things competitive, or Celtics can go cold from 3 in more than just one game. Like there's maybe 2-3 games where it's like the shots aren't falling and they're not playing the best, you know, defense. And then hopefully a Thunder or a Timberwolves or whoever can have a chance. But
so you Boston?
Yeah.
And then before we move on to MVP and rookies, we'll actually give a prediction for finals MVP. Now, if I'm predicting Boston to win it, Jason Tatum, you better win it. You better win finals MVP.
I'm going for Derek White.
You better win finals. Because if something like that happens,
I'm going for Derek White.
You might lose me.
I'm going for Derek White.
All the JT Defense League stuff I'm doing.
I'm going for Derek White. I know how Mazzulla and White are in the same sort of telepathy. And...
No, but how does that look on Tatum if they've won back-to-back years and he's not? Jaylen Brown's won one and Derek White's won one.
Tatum's a scrub.
No, I know you don't believe that.
Guys are bringing me back around. When guys were tweeting the other day, Tatum, look
but he does this far too often. No, if Boston have to win Tatum, man, you have to step up. You have to go and be finals MVP.
He does.
And if that happens, then I'll actually accept it.
I just don't know.
I've said from the start, that's the only way I accept Boston winning.
To be fair, if Boston win it, I think almost Tatum.
Yeah, the Rodri thing. Yeah, it would. Maybe could have had it last year.
Yeah, exactly. He could get clamped back away, but the PR, like,
he was low-key maybe robbed of it last year.
Adam Silver's PR just won't let a Derek White or anybody else win it. They're just not. They're just not. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So look, we both kind of agreed with Boston. MVPs and rookies of the week. I already mentioned Jaden McDaniels. He had a very, very good game 1. I've got Ollie Watkins back in the team. Goal, Pedro Neto. You see Pedro Neto's goal?
Very good goal. I'm
very,
not gonna
very
lie.
Nice. And I've got Fede.
Oh, I haven't seen the.
You haven't seen Fede's
goal? I haven't seen the Fede goal. I'll give it to Rafinha. He's got the 4-3. He's got the last minute win. Mikel Merino. Odegaard, actually. I'll give Odegaard an MVP. It's like it's a low bar, but that was his best game of the season. You know.
And seeing as I've just checked it now, Tottenham can get one. They're losing 2-0. 8th minute and 16th minute.
And Amarom, Man United.
Yep.
Like biggest win or best win, they were saying, in European Man United's Old Trafford European history. And then you lose to Wolves the next day in the exact same stadium.
Yeah.
You know.
Not scoring a goal, not putting up anything. And I've got Memphis as a rookie.
Yeah.
Because look, everybody's expecting you to get swept by OKC, so that's not the problem.
And he's proper fight.
51 points, the largest ever game 1 winning margin. Come on.
Yeah. Any other rookies from me?
Did you give Trossard MVP?
No, Trossard needs an MVP.
Martinelli got 50 Arsenal goals. I think.
Fair. I don't know if I can think of any other rookies.
I'll give Trent an MVP.
Who was the guy that got red carded in the Crystal Palace game?
Chris Richards.
I'd also give the referee in that game just a rookie.
Yeah.
Very dubious calls.
Yeah. The amount of times a Bournemouth player should have missed it. But yeah, look, I think that's it from us. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that episode. Something a bit different, focused on the basketball. We're both off now to go and watch Tottenham. What seems like to be losing. Enjoy the content afterwards. But look, thank you guys for listening. We will be back next week talking football. But it might need to be a Champions League one because some big Champions League semis next week. So we might have to have another later pod in the week to cover those, because Barca Inter, going
going to be good as well. But look, thank you guys for listening. We'll see you next week. Peace.